some gamers that don't play walking simulator games come with like the same types of criticisms all the time. It's hands off, it's passive, there's no actual gameplay, and it generally ends with "show me the gameplay," and that's because maybe story, narrative, or some of the more esoteric parts of game design might not be things that intrigue them, and that's totally fine. Everyone's got their own wishes and interests that scratch certain itches for them in gaming. You can't be all things to everything. However, a game comes along every once in a while where I just genuinely go, that's exactly why walking simulators get a really bad rep, and Drizzlepath Deja Vu is one of those games. Everything about this game is disconnected, passive, unengaging, doesn't really hang together as an experience, and you literally are just pressing forward for an hour through various different gaming assets that don't really tell a story. There is a story here, but it's a collection of what feels like first attempt of high school, like, I'm going to write 3 sentences and sound very, very wise, especially if I say it slowly and slightly off to the side of the world. Yes. Ha 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 ha. No, that doesn't make a good gaming experience, particularly if you then put some really dramatic, over-the-top, hypertension music over the top of that then blares the narrator out anyway. No subtitles in any of this, there are no accessibility features, there's very little for you to do as a player, and the general graphical vibe is Northern England in a very dreary, muddy, wet and windy day. With an occasional demonic demon statue. That's all that there is to it, but none of it hangs together. Some of these things might have been interesting if there was a good cohesive story that made sense, that put you in a direction, asked questions about your values or your thoughts or your feelings, or something was put in front of you that made you think or have an emotional or visceral reaction to it. There's none of that here. Instead, it's like these hazy thoughts of, if I stay super vague, and I don't know, maybe my Aquarius is in Capricorn, but not really, then maybe some of this might hinge and clutch onto someone, and then you make the story yourself. But even with that type of storytelling, you need like strategic breadcrumbs to get there, and just none of that is here. The movement is unsatisfying, the graphics feel underwhelming, the story is atrocious. I can't recommend this, and this is a really good example of if someone who wasn't a walking simulator fan would come along and go, what on earth is that? And it feels very difficult to defend things like this. So I can't recommend Drizzlepath Deja Vu as a game itself. And yeah, it's an experience that even though I've just literally finished playing this, I feel like I've already erased 3/4 of it from my brain because I was that unengaged. So nope, don't pick it up.